Spectre is the 24th Bond film directed by Sam Mendes, who also did Skyfall. It stars Daniel Craig as Bond, obviously, and Christoph Waltz as the mysterious villain that everyone seems to be talking about.
So yes, that's right, Bond is back, and this time he gets a clue from his past, and he hunts down an organisation named Spectre.
So Daniel Craig obviously returns, and he is definitely one of the best Bonds we've ever seen on screen. He captures the essence of Bond, he does the action, he does the kind of romance, and everything about him just reeks of Bond. He's so good in this role, and he's definitely one of my favourite parts about these films.
So the action, as always, with Bond is absolutely amazing, badass, awesome. He is the best spy I've ever seen in film. And Daniel Craig is also my favourite Bond, I would have to say.
Also, another one of the great points about this film, it looks incredible. Sam Mendes knows how to make one of the best looking Bond films to date. He did a really good job with Skyfall. I think they look a lot crisper than like Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace. And while I think Casino Royale is a better film, this one stands out as one of the best looking Bond films.
So the comedy is great in this film. Just little one-liners sometimes, a bit like what we see from Michael Pena, that sort of stuff. And it's just amazing, like Dave Bautista, we know him as quite a serious guy. We've seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy. And in here he has one line, and it's probably the funniest line in the film, I would say.
So this was actually a lot funnier than I was expecting. There's a lot of those kind of quips and one-liners that you see from a lot of the other James Bond films. And it does work. However, I feel they kind of go overboard a lot of the time, and it kind of takes you out of the scene when it's when it's trying to be serious, and they kind of throw in a one-liner or something like that. It does feel like James Bond, but all the time it kind of pulls you out of it, and sometimes it doesn't work. But most of the time it's really fun, it's really fresh, and it got the audience laughing, definitely.
So the predictability in this film is quite high. I mean, you see things coming a mile off, and sometimes it can ruin things. Like some of the main plot points you see coming, you know what they're going to do, what they're going to say, and it's not the greatest always.
I agree, that's probably one of the biggest negatives I can say for this film. I kind of did think it was a bit, it kind of threw me off a lot of the times. I was thinking, I shouldn't have seen that coming, and I kind of did, like, right from the beginning. I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I was correct, but I think that kind of takes you out of the film. But if you can look past that, then it's definitely enjoyable. Another thing I really enjoyed about the film was the strong female character. I mean, Bond girls are generally known as these stereotypical, really good-looking people that aren't really in it that much and are only in there for their sex with Bond. And this time, it's like, she's a really strong female character. She can handle her own, she can kick your ass, she's awesome, and I really enjoyed her in this.
So the characters in this film, each individual one had so much to do. From M, Q, Moneypenny, they all had a little individual part that contributed, not just Bond being a one-man team.
So one of the good things I enjoyed about this film was the fact that they reference a lot of different other Bond films, and you can kind of cherry pick the Easter eggs and stuff. If you've seen them all and you know them back to front, then it's going to be really enjoyable to watch, because you're like, oh, I've seen that from other films, and oh, they've actually included this, that's awesome. And it's kind of like, it's good to see if you're a Bond fan, because otherwise I think you'd miss it if you weren't, and it's really enjoyable to watch.
So another little problem with the film is the moments where you just kind of like, that maybe he shouldn't have lived. I understand Bond is harder to kill than Hulk in a Hulkbuster suit, but there's just some moments where you're a bit like, why are these people not dying?
Yeah, I also really didn't like the fact that they tried to tie everything together. I mean, all the Daniel Craig films, they tried to tie it all in one nice little knot, and I didn't kind of like... I kind of find it more interesting, the fact that he goes on these separate missions, and they're all just completely separate. I don't think they should all be tied into, you know, his destiny, and all completely compact into one nice little bit. It's I didn't really enjoy it that much. I think they tried way too hard to keep it all together, and it kind of took away from it.
So guys, that's been our review of the brand new Bond film Spectre. All in all, I'd say it's a super strong film. Even though we did say quite a few negative points, you can overlook them so easily and just realise that it's one of the best Bond films.
It's incredibly fun to watch. It's definitely one of the best Daniel Craig Bond films in general, and I think you can overlook a lot of the points like Sam said. They're kind of nitpicky, and we're being overcritical maybe, and for the most part the advantages we mentioned are the biggest highlights of this film, and I definitely would recommend watching it.
So because of this, I'm going to give it an A.
I'm going to give it an A-.
And if you have enjoyed, as always, be sure to hit like, slap, subscribe, and leave us a comment down below if there's anything else you want us to know. I've been Sam.
I've been John.
And we will see you in the next one.
Woo!